we are doing
So we're talking about
informal discussion. We're going to chit chat about why TikTok is perhaps the most vital social media platform that your business can have right now, and how you can use it even if you have zero experience. But before we begin, cheers.
This is our third week in a row that we have been traveling. Who's here?
78 Water 3. Cheers.
This is the third week of client travel. We've been in a new city every week. Actually, we're repeating the first city that we came to.
Yeah, we've been in multiple cities by now.
Getting client content and for TikTok specifically. And so it's hot on our minds right now. We have a lot of content that we need to edit because of these client content shoots. And on top of all this, we are starting a course that we're hosting next week called the Short Form Video Launchpad. And we're going to teach you how to build a TikTok strategy, how to build a TikTok account, what to do with it, specifically for brands and businesses. But if you're like doing it for yourself, you can do that too. But it's hot on our minds. So we're going to just talk about TikTok, why you need it, why we love it, and why you should be a part of our course.
And maybe it would be interesting to start to give some context. So we own a social media management agency. On a regular basis, we are creating content for social media and then actually managing the social media platforms of upwards of 20 clients in a vast variety of industries, from super consumer friendly and like easy to like think about social media for, like e-commerce or a service-based business, all the way up to like software companies who are not as easy to, social strategize around. Yeah, exactly. So across all of our clients, 2 years ago, we were not running TikTok strategies for any of our clients. Not even our most full service clients who we were managing all platforms. And that's just because I think at the time, TikTok was still in its like renaissance of user friendly, like it was still very much consumer space. Brands had really not infiltrated.
And if they
TikTok.
were, it was not received very well by people on TikTok.
And there was no roadmap or guidebook for how to be a brand that exists or a business that exists on TikTok, or moreover, simply like how to use TikTok to sell something, whether that's your business, your service, your product. Yeah. So it was not like first nature for us to think that we should encourage clients to be on a space like TikTok. But I think we always knew that day was coming, but there was nobody looked to see who to do that. So even when we first began working with clients on TikTok, there still wasn't really a ton of examples to look at in terms of basing strategy off of something that already exists. So we kind of had to wing it.
Yeah.
We had fully wing it, actually.
Give our client an explanation where they trusted us and they were like, all right, go do that thing that you're saying you want to try. I don't know if it's going to work. And it took a lot of trust at first to get our clients to let us do it.
Yeah. But as we gained that trust, we realized very quickly that we were doing like the learning and experimenting on a really, really fast trajectory. So we were learning very quickly what was working, what wasn't working. And we were kind of saving all of that knowledge up around like, okay, so this is how we have found the easiest path with like path of least resistance to being successful on TikTok, specifically as a business in a space where maybe you have to get creative around strategy. And that was not easy. We failed a lot. And then we had success and we succeeded a lot too, which was cool. But it's not simple. So there's so many devices and I'm so distracted.
We should tell the YouTube that we have TikTok live going. And I actually, Endless Munchies commented that we need a group of social media managers to hold each other accountable and then to have human interaction since we're always on our phones.
We have that.
We actually have that. So we have a Slack group. If you go to our Instagram, Hive Connective on Instagram, we have a Slack group that we claim is like, what do we call it? The support group for social media managers. It's like a support group for social. Yeah. And there's channels for every platform, pretty much every conversation there is to be had in the world of social media management. But also my favorite channel is called the Water Cooler, and we all just like vent to each other. So if you're having a particularly shitty Thursday, you can go in there and be like, anybody else struggling with tech today? I need a reprieve. Like, somebody help me out. And then you'll just start having conversations with like-minded creatives. And it's really great. So it's called So Social. Short little plug. Go check it out in our Instagram story bio.
Which is at Hive Connective, because we're on our personal. So
Yep.
you said that already.
Thank
but
you.
For anyone that's
or
didn't
you
hear
can
it,
check out our website, hiveconnective.com. It's on there too.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad you said that. Please join us.
Yay.
Yeah. Go check out the water cooler. And if you have to join each group, you can do that if you're not in there already. But I'm so glad you're in there.
Yay. See you in the water cooler. It's the best chat channel there is. So anyway, TikTok.
Back to you.
Yes. It's why TikTok strategy is critical is because there's also this whole discourse around like the ship has sailed on TikTok, which is just quite straight up not true.
No.
Anyone that tells you that is just fear mongering you, and they want you to
Yes.
like act quickly and probably buy something they're selling you.
Although I will say where the ship has sailed is throwing shit at the wall.
Yes.
And hoping that it sticks. Although I will say, like, I almost take my words back on that because it is good to just post content on TikTok. It is one of the platforms that you can just try content and test constantly with comfortability.
Yeah, you can still experiment. You can still test.
You can
on
experiment.
TikTok.
However, you need a strategy
it's low
with the
risk
experimentation.
And also, at this point, there is now historical data from us, from other folks who have built accounts or built brands and businesses on TikTok that you can look to say, like, okay, but in general, does this approach work or does it not approach? Does this approach not work? Which is the information that we're really lucky to have from the work we do. So it's really important to us that we can then like share that with whoever needs it. So that was really the impetus for building this course. The other reason for building this course, which starts next Thursday, is 9 times out of 10 when we start talking to someone about TikTok, whether it's like a person or a brand or a business, they're like, I know I need to get on there, but like I'm just not comfortable like being on video, or like I am just not comfortable like filming like that. Like I don't even know how to use the app. I opened it once and I didn't know what I was doing. Like that's not uncommon. And if that's something that you feel, that is absolutely like typical, right? It's normal. The truth of the matter is, I just made a TikTok about this the other day for the Hive. The truth is, this is still like completely of organic space of like, it's still the Wild West, right? Like you can be good at it, sure, but there's still no like roadmap, and how you succeed on this platform really depends on you and depends on your content. And so you can still like be winging it 100%, and that's normal because all of us are getting accustomed to this space. So the other reason we wanted to build this course is because if you're gonna take the time to be in a space like TikTok for your business or for your brand, you can reap like major dividends from that work. If you approach it strategically, and also if you take the risk to like jump in, and doing that sometimes just takes a nudge, and it also just takes like a guiding light or like a hand on your back to go feel comfortable going to do it. So that's what this course is. It is really meant to be like TikTok 101, super foundational. If you've never opened the app before, you can be successful in this course.
I made a video about this the other day on our Hive account, but one person that's going to be taking this course, she owns a boutique and she will post once in a while on TikTok. And every time she does, she gets new online orders, which she sees the direct correlation. However, it almost makes her like intimidated to post more because she's like, okay, I see that this is a powerful platform. I see that there's value every time I post, but now I feel pressure to only post good things, or I don't know what to post because I don't want to post the wrong thing or deter potential buyers. So she joined the course to be like, okay, I see the power of it. I know I need to be there. Just hold my hand and like help me with what to post and like more ideas around that. And so it's really for anybody on any scale, no matter where you are with your TikTok account, even if you don't have one already, this course is for you.
Yeah. And like confession time, so we own a social media management agency that we built. It's ours. And I've worked in social for a really long time. And even I was scared shitless, frankly, to post my first TikTok when it came to posting a TikTok for our client, and even for myself, like maybe a little less scared for myself.
Do you remember your first TikTok?
Yes, I do. It was in 2019, and it was before the world shut down for fun. But I remember being really, really nervous because straight up TikTok as a platform functions completely different from Instagram and from Facebook and from LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So not only does the strategy need to be different, but like how you use the app is different. How you like create a post is different. And that is intimidating. Not only is it intimidating, it is the kind of thing where it can feel like this is such a risk that if I mess this up and I do this wrong, I'm going to hurt my brand or my business reputation. Yeah. And that's a fair feeling to have. So if you're someone like me who is risk adverse and wants to be able to take the risk to do something like this, but is also feeling like, but I cannot do this the wrong way. Like if I'm going to do it, it has to be right. This is the course, because we figured all of that out along the way.
We failed forward for you.
Yeah, we failed forward. And so now, it's time to pass that information on to you all. So the course truly is super hands-on. It's 4 weeks. It's an hour of live attendance every week. But if you can't make the live course, we're doing like the content will be available for replay like immediately thereafter. So you don't have to be able to join us live if you can't. If you're interested, it's in the Instagram bio for our agency account, which is Hive Connective on TikTok and Hive Connective on Instagram. Can't think of anything.
All platforms.
So you can find the link there. And if you I should have put this like on the screen. If you want a discount code, we have them. Just comment on any of our TikToks.
Go find our TikTok, find any video right now and comment, what's that discount code? And
because at this point,
send it to you.
I don't care to sell $1 of the course. I would just rather everyone have the information that they need in front of them, because it's not easy. So,
and genuinely, we love to talk about this stuff. Like, we're not just selling this course to like be another TikTok coach. We like can't shut up about it. So we know that there's people out there that want to hear it. And so we want to tell it to you. We want to geek out about it with people that care.
Should we talk about something more fun instead of just selling our course a bunch of times? Because I have something.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first TikTok you ever saw? I actually know what mine was.
No.
Mine was Brittany Broski, the kombucha. Like that was my first, and I saw it on Twitter.
Oh,
but
okay.
I understood that it came.
I feel like. Okay. I don't know, because then I'm confusing Vine.
Yeah.
And TikTok, because Brittany Broski gives me Vine energy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. That's actually what enticed me over to TikTok in the beginning, because I was like, oh, this is like RIP Vine, but like revived. So I was interested right away.
TikTok in the beginning was, I thought it was like Musical.ly, where you,
because it also was
dancing. So I didn't, but like obviously the pandemic threw me into it, because it's like, well, here we are. I don't remember. I wish I did. I remember some of the early videos, like the first videos I made were with my nieces, and they were dancing videos.
Good ones.
Because it was still like very much that side of TikTok.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Oh, although I will say, we were talking a little bit earlier about the original phenomena of early days of Instagram. I think my first Instagram post was my best friend from high school's cat, and it had about 4 filters on top of it. And shoot, I was like, why? Why did I post that? But that was the land of no strategy.
Oh my God. There was no strategy to be had.
Live and post. And I feel like in a way, TikTok is like doing that. Like that is their whole existence, is just like live and post. However, my earlier TikToks maybe had a little filter on there.
Yeah, mine definitely did.
And
mine were definitely with an eye towards like the Instagram vibe, which was a little bit more polished at the time and a little bit more serious.
Embarrassing.
Frankly, I'm grateful for TikTok's informality. I love that you can like be yourself and just do whatever you want. I'm fully taking advantage of it. I think businesses and brands, if you don't take advantage of it, you're missing the point of being on the platform. Like Duolingo is a great example. Like, don't take it first. You can talk about what you do, but like you don't even have to do that. You can just express your personality, and that works too. But yeah, so the course is going to be fun. It's 4 weeks. It's an hour with us every week. There's also like an office hours component. If you are working through the work that you'll have to do outside of the class, and you're like, wait, I need some more guidance on that, or I want to see if I'm on the right track. You're never doing it alone, which I think is great. And for us is like the one thing we had one another, but we didn't have anyone who had gone before us in terms of being successful in the space. So I'm most excited about that part of it, like offering just the support of someone being like, oh, like all the little things. Like we could list off like all the little things that like, if you don't know, you don't know. For example, like you will invariably post a TikTok where the text is not visible in some way, shape, or form when you first start on TikTok. Like when you put it in the wrong spot and it's like behind your profile picture, or like all kinds of stuff. And if you don't have someone to like look over your shoulder and be like, hey, that's not gonna like do what you think it's gonna do, then you're just gonna have to learn those errors on your own. But that's the purpose of, us opening up our time and our schedule to have this kind of like one-on-one learning, because you will be able to learn a lot faster and learn from our mistakes if we can tell you, hey, don't do these things that we mess up on time and time again. And ultimately, right, like skips you ahead in the process of building your own presence, right? Like not just, sure, you have to learn the baseline first, but then after that, then you can inject your own personality and actually make it your own. And it can feel like you can't do that until you have like the baseline tools like figured out. So
or
that's
somebody to tell you it's okay to do it.
Yeah, right. That's
like, all it takes.
Because the other thing too is like you will mess up. That is the point. Like I don't know where we went astray with social media in thinking that it needs to be perfect all the time. I don't just mean like beauty standards perfect, because I feel like that's a different conversation. But
I think what you're saying could mean like how many likes is it getting?
Yeah, like
is it getting engagement? Does it look like how I wanted it to look?
Like it doesn't need to be. We sterilize it when we do that to be like from a brand or a business perspective. Like if we don't, if it's not seen by a certain number of our followers or it doesn't get the click through rate we wanted or whatever, then it's a failure, which is just not true, because I think we like lost like the fun and creativity process, which we definitely see has made a return in a space like TikTok. So that's another reason why we're amped up to encourage everyone to get on that space, because like we said, you can fail forward, you can experiment, but more importantly, you can like you're rewarded for taking a risk on a platform like TikTok, because what you think might not work could actually work tremendously. And other people will see it and it'll help you grow your following. So why wouldn't you want to be in a space where you're being rewarded to be creative and to inject that like fun back into sharing on social?
Another thing I'll say about TikTok is I think I've been on Instagram for over a decade now, and I have just as many followers as I do on TikTok. And I've only been on TikTok for the past 2 years. And to say I haven't tried that past decade on Instagram, I've tried in very little ways, right? But still, like when you post to Instagram, you're only seeing the audience that you've worked very hard to grow. Where on TikTok, you could have 1 follower, you could have 1,000 followers, you could have 3 million followers. You post a video and it's just going to get served to whoever the algorithm thinks it needs to get served to. And you might have a new reach overnight, on a video you made 4 months ago. And that's the beauty of the platform, because truly I've never had an experience on any other platform where you can have that kind of opportunity. So it's a space to be had in many ways, but like that's one perk that you cannot get anywhere else.
And to that point, I would say if you are someone who's like, for whatever reason, your business, your brand you work in social and like it's just part of your job. If you've been feeling burnt out by how little return you're getting from how much work you're putting into other platforms like Instagram, for example, which is not an easy platform to create for. It's visual driven. So you have to have at least to have a photo or a graphic or something. And now they have Reels too. So you might be even doing this kind of video strategy there and just not feeling like you're pouring 150% in and you're getting like 2% back on the return. If that's you, you're the perfect person to head over to TikTok, because that was me. I as someone who had built a career around social, even I was feeling discouraged, because I was like, when people come to me as a client, as a potential client, and they say we want to grow a new following, I know in my heart of hearts that is not as easy as it used to be. And it's also not something I could ever like necessarily guarantee anymore, because it is so unpredictable these days, how, especially like with platforms that have reached their maturity, like Instagram and Facebook, where everyone who wants to be on it is probably on there by now, aside from younger generations coming up. That's discouraging. It's not super fun. It makes you feel like you are working harder than you're being rewarded. And if you're in that space for like, if you make money in this world in any way, shape, or form, that's a really difficult thing to navigate. Feeling like it's almost impossible then to not feel like your worth is somehow related to the success of that content.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if that's you, I like highly implore you to get on over to TikTok immediately, because I have felt a resurgence of creativity around social media content for myself, let alone for my clients. I'm a better agency partner as a result. And I have seen that it's a space where for the first time in a long time, you actually can stand to be rewarded for taking a risk. Not just like, there's not the voice in the back of your head saying like, no matter how hard you try, this isn't going to reach anyone like that. That's not real, because you just never know.
You truly never know. My brother, who posts like whatever. He has no niche on TikTok. He posted a video. He lives in Portland, Oregon, and he posted a video picking up his kids from school of a kid walking through the parking lot with a cone on his head. And he's like, things you see in Oregon Montessori parking lots. And it got 1 million views. And he was like, I don't post this kind of content all the time. Like how did anybody see this? I didn't even put a hashtag on there. It was just the keywords in the caption that got to the right side of people. And it's like, you can literally be not posting. I guess this goes against what we're saying to have a strategy, but you can go viral without.
So if you can go viral without a strategy, think of what happens then when you put your noggin into play,
or when you have a plan once that video does go viral.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes it's not even about like sophisticated strategy. It's more about if you are going out into the world, the digital world, and making content with the hopes that people will see you, that you're ready, whether they come today or tomorrow or in a month or in a year, that you're going to capitalize on having those eyeballs on your page. By having created authentic content. Yeah, it is a little bit.
Strategized improv.
And anyway, it's just fun. Like if you just need a little bit of a reprieve.
Yeah. How many clients do we have? So we are the social media experts for our clients. That's why they hire us. And so just today we were with a client who does not work in this industry. And she was like, I love when you guys come here. And I love when you make me focus on the TikToks because it gets me like creatively driven again, right? Like she works in the interior design industry. She's like, when I do these TikToks, it gets me like in the space again. And so that's an example of a creative who works in a different industry who finds TikTok as a refreshing outlet for her once she's like, sits down and says, okay, there's something valuable here. There's a community that wants to ask me questions, and that gets her going again. And she doesn't even like work in social media. So, and that's just like one example, but all of our clients tend to say that when we go and do shoots with them, they're like, wow, this is really refreshing. This is really nice to know that this community is here. So no matter what industry you're in, no matter what you do, no matter what business you do have business on TikTok. Like you should be there.
Yeah, exactly.
What else is there to say about it?
Just join TikTok.
I think we're almost at 30 minutes.
Perfect. So, okay, to reemphasize the course, if anyone's curious, so social. Short form video launchpad. It starts next Thursday, May 19th. It's 1 hour a week. Live course. If you can't join us live, you'll be able to tap into the replay. 4 weeks. So in 4 weeks, you will learn a crash course about using TikTok. Whether you have a little bit of background or a lot of background or none, it's a course for you to learn how and why you can show up on a space like TikTok successfully as a business or a brand, how to utilize the platform from editing and creating videos to very basic information like how to start your page and get up online. And throughout the 4 weeks, we will work with you hand in hand to actually jump in and create content. And by the end of the 4 weeks, you will have a TikTok channel that you could proudly share with your communities, the spaces that you sell to already or your own friends and family, and be proud of, because we are going to have your back the whole way through. It's very fun. And yeah, we're fun. So it's not like a college class. It's more like a extracurricular, it'll be a good time.
It's a skill you can take anywhere with you. So whether it's applicable now or down the line with whatever you end up doing, TikTok's not going away. I can promise you that.
And not only is TikTok not going away, it's going to shape the rest of the industry. Look at Instagram. It's already like sprinting to keep up. So you need these skills, whether you're going to be on TikTok or not. We'd be happy to give them to you. So you can register at hiveconnective.com. Just look for the short form video launchpad tab on the top.
And it's in the description. You
can also go to at Hive Connective on Instagram. Link is in the bio there if that's easier if you're coming from another platform. But we're excited. We can't wait. The 19th, we're kicking off. Be there or be square. And if you want, last plug on the discount code, you can always reach out to us for a discount code. But if you'd like one that will let you register right now for $99, which is a really fat discount, you can use the code It's So Social 99, named after our fun and funky social media community on Slack. So Social 99, $99 to register. We start on the 19th. Can't wait to see you there.